Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are discussing the trans vagina. Here we go. Today we are going to talk about the trans vagina. Facts, misconceptions, and obsessions with the I was about to say the female genitalia. The created trans female genitalia, right? So, obviously not obsessed by this. It's just like a new thing, and it seems to be quite important to know this. Otherwise you can get yourself in trouble. So, actually, we're not obsessed. We're just trying to stay on the right side of the law so we don't get arrested and cancelled and blocked off our social media. So let's see what she's got to say. Here you go.
Hi, welcome back. My name is Cece and I am a public speaker from the Faroe Islands. I do public speaking about what it was like growing up as the first openly transgender person in my entire country.
Just in case you didn't get that, this is a man who's transitioned to a woman. And I've got to say, this is one of the more effective, physically wise, she does look very similar to a real woman. I mean, up close like this, with it freeze frame paused, having a good look, you can actually tell, no, this is just a man with lots of surgery. But if all you care about is appearance, when you're looking for someone, there, and you don't mind, screwing around with someone who is a biological man, then this will be for you. But that's a separate video, right? We just want to know about the trans vagina today, so let's carry on.
The trauma that it caused and how I overcame it. So let's talk about vaginas. If you are a person who respects people's boundaries, you might be wondering, why is she doing this video? This is so unnecessary. What is this about?
If you respect boundaries, you'll be asking, what's this video about? And then the assumption is, if you don't ask, you're not a caring person. So people who aren't interested in this are not caring. And people who are interested in it are obsessed. Everyone's got a schism, or everyone's got a mental issue. Everyone's got a diagnosis. I see where this is going.
I'll tell you. Ever since I was a literal child, people have been asking me about my genitals.
That on its own just says you've been groomed. Why were people asking you about your genitals constantly when you were a child? Okay, fair enough if it was your doctor, or your mum and dad and your doctor, or your physiotherapist, or someone like that, but everybody? When you were a child? Bearing in mind you were a boy, so you were getting nonced up as a little boy. And that's the reason you've done this, maybe, possibly.
This is not unique to me in any way. This is very common for trans people. People are obsessed with our bodies, especially our genitalia. And this continues no matter what you do.
Like I said, if you're not interested, you're evil, unempathetic, and a white Christian, right-wing, far-right, whatever, mean person, whatever they're going to label you as. But if you're watching it, you're obsessed. Even though you have no idea about it, and you're just watching it so that you can stay on the side of the law that's good, and you can be nicer to people, and you can be aware of their identity situation. It's a bit rough, really, to treat us like that when we're just here to learn about your life so we don't upset you. That's the whole point. We're trying not to offend you, sir, madam.
Whether you get an operation, whether you don't get an operation, people will obsess over it. I have had what was back in the day called sex reassignment surgery. It is now called gender confirmation surgery or gender recognition surgery or something like that. But it all means the same thing.
There you go, straight from the horses. All of this stuff is gender conversion, let's call it what it is. You're taking boys and you're chopping off their penises. So they're not becoming women, but you're making sure that they're not really men. And that is pure evil. I mean, look at the state of this poor thing. This poor creature has had such a horrible experience of life and ended up like this. Oh, it's sinister. Anyway, let's carry on.
I know I'm a vagina. Now, because this is public knowledge, I do get a lot of questions.
Well, you have made a video called Trans Vaginas Facts and Misconceptions, and you spent 6 minutes and a half on this video talking about it. So I think you should stop saying that people are obsessed and recognise that the obsession is yours. I'm just here to learn about it because it's completely new to me. 2 years ago, I didn't even know you could get fake vaginas made out of arm fat. So, I'm not obsessed. I'm just interested to know something which I previously didn't know because it previously didn't exist. Anyway, let's carry on.
And I thought I'd just answer some of them to the best of my ability. So let me just jump straight into it before I pussy out. Number 1, I go to the gynecologist. I don't know what it is about this that really rubs transphobes the wrong way, but every time a trans woman talks about going to the gynecologist, there will be transphobes in her comments going,
Hang on a minute, I need to rewind that. Are you saying the trans people are transphobes? Because that's what it sounded like. I'm going to have to rewind that. Let's go again. Make sure you did actually say that.
to the best of my ability. So let me just jump straight into it before I pussy out. Number one, I go to the gynecologist. I don't know what it is about this that really rubs transphobes the wrong way, but every time
Ah, she said it rubs transphobes. I thought she said transfolk. So she's talking about transphobes. When she talks about transphobes, what she's actually talking about is people who don't immediately agree with the assessment that gender is fluid. That's what she's coming down to. Sorry, I keep knocking the microphone. You are a transphobe if, for instance, you are a straight man and you don't want to have sex with him, her, it, them, she, shim, whatever the hell it is.
every time a trans woman talks about going to the gynecologist, there will be transphobes in her comments going, why do you need to go to the gynecologist? What is that? You don't even have a real vagina. You can't get pregnant. You have a big empty hole. What do you need it for?
It is kind of true though, isn't it? It's like if I went to the gynecologist, I can get him to poke a finger up my bum and, you know, he can take my pulse and stuff like that. But I mean, effectively, I'm wasting his time and I'm wasting my own time. There's absolutely no point. So, okay, you've got like a medically, procedurally created vaginoplasty. I think that's what it's called, vaginoplasty, plastic vagina. And you need to go to the gynecologist about it, which is a bit weird because, as we know, it isn't actually a vagina. It doesn't. It's made out of your arm. So really, you should be going to like whoever the arm doctor is.
I even had someone ask me, don't you mean a urologist? No, I don't. If I did, I would have said urologist. I'm not an idiot. And then they just kept flat out denying that I was not seeing a gynecologist. Why are you making conspiracy theories about where I go to the fucking doctor?
I think we're not making conspiracy theories about you. You're a brand new thing. You're a created brand new creature. And not only that, we have to identify you as this brand new creature. How the flipping hell are we supposed to do that if we don't know about you? It's not like we can just Google it because it says these search results have been removed. It's not like we can ring the trans information line because they're either, like you, really, really rude and off-putting to people that are straight, or if it's a child, they completely try and brainwash them. It's awful. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't agree with you there. I'm trying to be on your side here, but that is the terrible thing to say.
Why do I need a gynecologist? I don't know. I was assigned one. I guess there is more to vaginal health than just childbirth. What could I possibly have to gain from lying about this?
Well, that is a big, big question. What would you possibly have to gain from this? Apart from your entire career, your life, all the money you've got, your identity that's been given to you by other trans people, because as we've seen, that is how trans people develop their new gender identity. They literally kill off the old one psychologically, and they actually mourn like that person's dead, and then they give them the new name and the new life, and your identity is told to you. It's given to you by other trans people. You're just a blank canvas. You rub out what's on there, you've got no personality, you've thrown it away, you mourned it, and then the other trans people, led by the doctor, will tell you what your identity is. And that's what's happened to you. So you sat there thinking that your identity is you, you've picked out your hair, your eyes, your makeup, your clothes, what you wear, everything you say, everything is so well curated. And I must say you've done a fantastic job, sir. But don't say you've got nothing to gain by doing this, because that's flat out insincere lie.
It's not like a cis vagina. I know. It is not a cis vagina. It is a trans vagina.
And there's no such thing as cisgender. Calling a normal woman a cisgender is like me calling you a transvestite or a man in drag. It's rude. So, okay, fine. You want me to call you a woman, she, her, fine, I'll do it. But as soon as you start calling someone a cis, you are a cisphobe. Don't be a flipping cisphobe or I'll get right narky with you like you got with me, alright? So watch that, mister. Don't think I can't see what you're up to.
But I still go to the fucking gynecologist. And if that bothers you so much, maybe you should go see a urologist, because then you don't see the same people that I do. Number 2, trans women can't get wet. Misconception. I don't know where this misconception comes from.
That's not a misconception. We're all well aware that you can get wet because they... I can't remember what the thing's called. There's a part of your penis that does the little pre-cum thing, and they invert that, and then they turn it into a little circular thing underneath the labial flap, so that produces wetness, but not as much. I have read up a little bit, so we know about that, but you don't need to go to the gynecologist for that. You just go to Superdrug and buy some lube like a regular dude or a person would do. Anyway, let's carry on.
I think it might be because it varies. Maybe it's dependent on what doctor you went to, what sort of procedure you had, what your body chemistry is. But me personally, I don't have any issues in that department. I guess just like with cis women, there are natural variations from...
Yes, there are natural variations in quote-unquote cis women, just like there are unnatural mutations in trans women. Let's do... If you want a sword fight, poke for poke, let's go. I'm up for it. I'm ready.
Person to person. Number 3. I actually get this question quite a bit. Do you get your period? No, I don't.
I don't know why anyone asks you that. That's like someone saying to me, do I get a period? Oh, yeah, I get a period with my non-existent ovaries that I don't have. Come on. So you started off really well. I was well up for listening to you, even though you look really weird and I can tell you're a man who's confused. And some of the stuff you say is kind of dangerous to me. I'm open-minded. I'm trying to empathise with you. I'm sat here trying to creatively come up with excuses and reasons why this stuff you're saying shouldn't worry me, but it just does.
And I am not sensitive about it. I do not care at all.
That's such a male trait.
I have to try and look for the positives in life, especially in this life, and not having to bleed, not having to be put through the severe pain.
That's such lies. She is an absolute liar. Anyone who's had major surgery will tell you it ain't no picnic, right? It is painful. There's blood everywhere. It's ugly, leaves scars. Sometimes the thing doesn't heal up properly. Other bits of your body go wrong or you need corrective surgery years later. And then plastic surgery to make it look normal. And then more to make it look nice. I've had plastic surgery myself internally in my body to save my life. So I've gone through probably more surgery than this chick has or this guy has. And I can tell you it's not pretty, it is painful, it is bloody, and it's flipping hard. Recovering for 2 years when you can barely move and you're in agony every day is not nice. So please, if you're going to tell me about how great trans is and how wicked you feel now, be honest about the absolute hell that you had to endure for 2 years recovering from being butchered in the surgery.
That a lot of cis women go through when they're on their period. I'll take that for the blessing that it is. Some trans women are very sad about it though. They wish they could have kids and it's very painful for them. It's not.
They could have kids. All they've got to do is be straight, get married, and knock someone up, or get knocked up. It's simple. That's what the plan was. That's what nature planned for you. When you were born with a certain set of tools attached to your body, and they work with a certain set of tools attached to someone else's body. And then when you put those two together, guess what you make? Babies. Unfortunately though, your trans vagina is not capable of doing that, which is why you're probably wasting the gynecologist's time. Well, it's not really a waste of time for you, I suppose. It gives you something to create content about, put your wig on, put yourself up for. So, you know, it's an earner. It's a job.
It's not about denying your biological reality or
yes, it is. Anyway,
pretending that you're cis or anything like that. It's just that for those women, it really hurts to talk about it. And it's a wound that will never heal fully.
Finally, we get to the truth. Being transitioned, even when it was really, really well done, and she claims that it wasn't painful, she didn't bleed, she didn't go through any recovery, it was really easy, everything went well, her surgeon's brilliant, so I can't imagine anyone else is going to be able to say that. They had no problems, no bleeding, nothing. And even though she had all of that go well, that's her last word on it. It's a scar that will never heal. Which is weird, because it reminds me of the white-hating racists. They teach their kids that, the wound. We want reparations for this wound which will never heal. And that's why we don't do reparations, because it will never be enough. And for this man here, all this surgery and the hair and the glitter and the makeup and everything, it's just not enough. Oh, I feel so sorry for you now. I know why you make these videos and why you would love to be the object of public obsession. You'd love people to be talking about your fake vagina all day long, wouldn't you? It's all for attention. Something happened to you when you were young.
And also, of course, it's used as a way of invalidating our bodies, which is always annoying.
Why would anyone want to invalidate your body? It's not like they have to validate it in the first place and then remove that validation. The only person that can validate your body really is you and anyone that you decide to sleep with. If they sleep with you, they've validated you, haven't you? So that's probably why you think everyone's obsessed with your fake vagina. It's you that's obsessed with people being obsessed with your fake vagina. You want to get laid. That's what this all comes down to.
But we don't get off scot-free because number 4 is dilation. Every post-op trans woman's least favorite word. You see, with trans vaginas, there's a simple rule. Use it or lose it. Luckily, I can use it 30 to 31 days a month, except in February.
I think what she's saying there is if you don't put stuff in the fake vagina every day and keep using it, it starts to heal over because it is literally a wound. It's funny. When I was young, we used to call a vagina an axe wound when I was a teenager or like adolescent because it was like one of those rude boy things that you do. Axe wound. It was funny, or like wizard sleeve or something like that. It was funny. She has literally got a wound. She just said there, if she doesn't play with it every day, it's going to start healing over. Oh my goodness me. That's why you go to the gynecologist. You want the gynecologist to keep it working. It's like a machine that needs repair. Jesus Christ.
The reason for this is that if you stop penetrating yourself or having a partner do it, you will tighten up and you might lose depth, especially in the early days. And that can lead to sexual dysfunction down.
This sounds absolutely horrendous. Anyone who's thinking about having trans surgery, just review this video and just have a really, really hard think about it. Bearing in mind, this woman has described the perfect transition. Everything was perfect. All the doctors knew exactly what they were doing. There was no problems, no follow-up surgeries, nothing. Recovery was easy, no bleeding. But I guarantee you will not find a single person who can say that. I doubt that that's the case for him. I think he probably did go through quite a lot of pain, quite a lot of recovery, quite a lot of therapy for the trauma of the pain of recovering, and probably that's part of the scar that won't ever go away, the emotional scar of being that helpless and that screwed and having to recover so long.
Down the line. Unlike in cis women, where vaginal tightness is mainly a patriarchal construct used to slut shame cis women by calling them loose.
That's not true. That's absolutely not true. Calling someone loose is not slut shaming. Slut shaming is the thing that the trans crowd have made up. Or some, well, probably not the trans crowd, but somebody's made it up. There's actually no such thing as slut shaming. It's complete rubbish. Anyway, let's carry on.
In trans women, vaginal tightness is very real and it has to be actively prevented.
You have to be a right wanker, otherwise it'll heal.
So if you're dating a trans woman, odds are you're going to be getting a lot of sex because dilation is awful and sex counts as dilation if you're well equipped enough. Number 5, no periods, etc. means no female reproductive system, which means I cannot get pregnant.
I'm not sure why you had to explain that. We know. We absolutely know you can't get pregnant because you're male. See, this is the problem with this delusion. Reality's not going to be able to go with you all the way. You're going to get to the finish line and look back, and reality's going to be 30 meters behind you. It's stranded. It can't marry up. It can't provide the realism you need for this. So it's all very well saying yes, have lots of sex and everything else, but it's just. Oh, even you're so well done, you do look really female, but if I just look into your eyes and I just concentrate on your eyes, I'm looking at a man's eyes. I know. It's like I could put little circles around your eye and cut them out and everything else is female apart from your head and your eyes and your shoulders. Sorry, no, I don't buy it. And I shouldn't have to buy it. It's not true. It's a delusion. I won't participate in your delusion and I won't be part of your weird fetish of having me play along with it. No, it's dirty and no, it's perverted. Anyway, let's carry on. We're nearly to the end of the video now.
Again, touchy subject for some trans women. I don't care. I think it's amazing. I don't want to get pregnant. I don't want to have nobody's kids. Should I ever change my mind? There's always the foster system.
Please no. Please God no. I pray to God that she never ever has custody of any children, especially sole custody. I'm not saying she will do anything wrong or she will hurt this child, but clearly she's having a lot of trouble looking after herself, and taking on a child which isn't even biologically yours, that's you're asking for disaster there. Please don't.
A lot of kids are looking for a home, and being a parent does not mean you have to birth someone.
Well, it kind of does. It's like having a penis makes you male. Having to birth someone makes you female. It just, I don't know how else to put it. It's just, that's how it goes.
Accept it. I don't mind. I don't care if I can get pregnant. It is what it is. It means that I never have to worry. If I have a regular partner, we don't have to wear condoms because it doesn't really matter. We can just enjoy sex without any worry whatsoever.
Gay sex, though, let's be honest. That's two men having sex. One of them has been mutilated so that the penis is inverted and has a gap behind it that you can insert things into. That's what you're having. It isn't really... Well, yeah, okay, I suppose you can have that. It is still sex. It's penetration, but it isn't intercourse because there's no intercourse. There's no stuff going from A to B to get you pregnant. It just ain't going to happen. It's effectively the same as buggery, if we're going to be technical. So, yeah. But, I mean, it's weird how at the beginning you started saying people like me are obsessed with trans vaginas when I just came here to find out about them because I'm going to get in trouble if I don't know. Now, at the end of the video, you've spent the whole video talking about little fetish, you know, sexy time stuff for you. So that's the only reason this whole conversation's been about that, is because you've talked about nothing else. So I'm thinking, that's your life. This entire thing's a sexual fetish for you, isn't it? And you want to include everyone. And the second anyone calls you a man and breaks that delusion, brings you out of your little dreamland, you'll go flipping mental, like the rest of them.
So, I accept it. It's fine. But some people might not feel that way. Number 6 is a hate comment that I see quite a bit on YouTube. It's just an empty hole. Well, first of all, not all the time. For real though, it's not an empty hole.
I've got to be honest, right? The sense of humour is spot on. That's a proper sarky male sense of humour. I can relate to that. So even though... Well, at the start of the video, I really wanted to like her. And at the middle, I was like, not sure about you. I don't like you now. But getting near the end, it's like, you're a complex, messed up creature. But at the end of the day, I think there's a good person in there. And it is a real shame what has happened to you. Honestly, God help you. I feel so bad for what you had to go through, and I'm sorry that you had to go through that. You seem like a nice, nearly said lad there, a nice woman. So let's get to the end of the video, see the last thing you've got to say, but I mean, we'll summarise at the end.
This is just one of the many negative ways that transphobes like to talk about trans bodies. They like to talk about our bodies in ways that make them sound defect or mysterious or revolting or whatever.
To be honest with you, if people think trans bodies are revolting, there's nothing you can do about that. They're not doing it on purpose. It's like people who are scared of spiders. It's not like they sat there for a few days and masterminded a plan to become terrified of spiders. No. It's a natural, instinctual, non-reasoned response. It's from a part of your brain. I think it's like a prehistoric part of your brain. That's what generates fight or flight. It doesn't have a logic system. So I can absolutely 100% conclusively tell you, no, that's incorrect. So if anyone's having a go at your body, it's either because you've upset them somehow, or they are genuinely just like, disgusted. And there's nothing you can do about that. So that's fine. But obviously people should try and be respectful no matter what you look like. So unfortunate if they've been rude to you.
And it's just one of the many ways that they like to dehumanize us.
No, we don't. Look, I'll admit, right? If you're going to call me a transphobe, even though I'm not, and everyone who is in my position trying to learn about you who's not on board with trans is a transphobe, you're going to have a very tough time building up a fan base that isn't just trans people, confused teenagers. In fact, I would be willing to bet that a large section of your viewers are confused teenagers looking to be like you because they think it's great and it's like the promised land to them. It's all going to end in tears. Let's carry on.
It may be man-made, but the attitude towards it seems to be the same as man-made beaches. No one cares how it's made while they're there. Okay, that is all for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video entertaining, helpful, enlightening, weird, a little bit disconcerting, whatever, please press the like button and subscribe.
No, I'm absolutely not doing that. Right, I'm just going to read some comments. CC Jacobson. Well, I'll leave it up to you guys. What do you think? I think this is a fairly convincing approximation of what a female would look like if it was a man underneath. So you're not going to do much better than this. You're not going to get someone who looks much more female than this guy does now, who isn't a woman. But I mean, ultimately, unless you've got really poor eyesight, really just no senses, it's like I say, all you've got to do is look at someone's eyes, and the shape of their eyes and the dimensions of their eyes and the bridge of their nose and stuff is either male. It's like dogs, and you can do it with dogs and you can do it with cats. If you look at their face, you can say that's a boy, that's a girl, because they look different, right? And that's what we got here. So anyway, finish the video quite soon. Let's go through some of these. Thanks for talking about your experience. I've always wondered about these things. I'm a cis woman, fembot. That's a fake account. Let's do a little bit of searching. When was it? 30th December. No content. Fembot. Let's have a look. I always do this just to see whether these comments are actually paid for, because you know there's people out there with companies and you can pay them to do all kinds of stupid messages and stuff on there. It's like false flag on YouTube comments. Why is it showing me this one? Alright, let's do this then. Fembot521. Let's see what else she does. Do you think something good can ever come from going through trauma? Yes. Oh, look at that, 62%. Anyway, right, let's go back to the comments. See if there's any more interesting stuff in here. It just seems to be lots of people going, thanks. I'm actually transgender and I'm going through dilations and I'm a semi-truck driver. God, there's all sorts out there, isn't it? So, what's the complaint? This is so boring. The video was good, but I've got to say, these people are just no personality. That's it! All these people have no identity. They're so dull because they don't have an identity. They're screaming out to find an interesting personality to take on because they think they've got nothing in them. They're hollow. That's why they want to do what this man is doing. He was the same. He felt hollow, useless and ugly and everything else. And now with all this stuff on this video with a whole load of trans people following him like the Pied Piper, he's having a great time. So that's what these people think. But I don't think it's going to go that way. It's going to end in tears, isn't it? So anyway, think about that. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.